Welcome to the ranch. Over the past few weeks, we've had a lot of weather up and down. Warm weather, cold weather. We've had ice storms, we've had snowstorms, we've had heavy winds, heavy rains. It's been an absolute mess around here. So it kind of made me think about this next video that I'm getting ready to present to you right now. And that is the top 5 reasons why we use a drone here at the Promised Land. So stick around as I give you the top 5, and of course you don't ever want to miss the number 1 reason. Here we go. Number 5 on our list is fun. Let's go, right? Sometimes we got to let our hair down and just have some fun. When you live on the ranch, you got a lot of work, day in, day out. Weekends are not really a weekend. The only day that we really don't do a whole lot is on Sunday. We believe that that's the Lord's day that He's given to us to worship Him, but also to make sure that we get the rest that we need. So we don't do a whole lot on Sunday, but other than that, we are constantly on the move. We always have things to do. We have fences to mend. We have pens to build. We have repairs. We have maintenance. We have all kinds of things that always are going on here at the ranch. And so sometimes you just need to have some fun. Get the drone up in the air, fly it around, and yes, if you have watched my channel long enough, you know that I've probably flown them into a couple trees here and there. Make sure you get your warranty on your drone. Number 4 is so that we can capture those epic shots. No, we're not out in Alaska. We don't live up in the mountains, but man, we do have some pretty views down here in Texas. We have some great shots of the sunset, great shots of the sunrise. A couple years ago, we were able to do drone footage of the ice storm that we were encountering. And when we do our drone shots, the idea is to give you, the viewer, a front row seat. We want you to feel what it's like to be right here on the Promised Land, to be able to see this awesome creation that God has given us to look at day in and day out. And that's why we like to incorporate visual shots that are from a higher level to give you that perspective that sometimes even we don't get to experience. But when we do include the drone and the videos that we do, man, for me, it takes it to a whole nother level to be able to experience it like never before. Number 3 is for us to be able to check the well-being of our herd. Sometimes we run our cows on pastures that there's a tree line between us and them. And it's quicker for us to be able to take the drone up, fly over the tree line, and get into the pasture where they are. But when we're looking for the well-being of our herd, it's not necessarily just to see where they are. Sometimes we're looking to see if the mamas have dropped their calves. Sometimes we're looking for a cow, a bull, a steer, whatever it may be, to see if they're doing okay. If they've been looking a little off and we felt like we need to keep a closer eye on them, instead of separating them from the herd, we'll let them continue to run with them since they're social animals, and then we can see exactly how they're doing from a distance. And the thing is that the more you use the drone, the more they'll get comfortable with the sound of the drone as it's flying overhead. The other thing is that as we're looking at the new mamas, as I said, if they've dropped their calves, we're also able to see the new calves, the ones that are a day or 2 year old. We talked about in some videos in the past about coyotes that were on our properties. And so when we're able to look at the herd and where they are with these new babies, we can see that they're okay. And that's important too. The other thing that we look at is if we have a calf that is isolated, or a cow or bull, whatever it may be, we're able to take that drone to wherever they are isolated and keep an eye on them that way as well. And as I said, when you have bad weather, as we've experienced here, sometimes you can't get out or you just don't want to because it's not comfortable. And so why not utilize the drone to check the herd? Number 2. The number 2 reason as to why I like to have the drone is because you can utilize it to really check your fence lines and all the other items that you have out in the pasture. And there's a lot of things out there. You have your hay rings, of course you have your fence lines that I spoke about. If you have a corral, if you have protein tubs, if you're putting hay out, there are so many things that you can utilize the drone for to check to see what is going on out there. And sometimes you don't have the time, again, depending on how big your your land is, you don't have the time to get on the four-wheeler, to get on the horse, to get on whatever means that you're using to get out there. Whereas if you have the drone, you can do it from the comfort of your own house. You may have to come out on the back porch, but hey, if it's cold, start a fire. You can really utilize it however you see fit. But for us, we like to check our fence lines with it so that we can see whether or not it is a firm area or if it's loose and we have to get out there and really starting to tighten things down. So we can also utilize it, as I said, to check the hay. Is the hay low? The hay rings, have they destroyed the hay ring? Because again, depending on what kind of cows you have, or maybe even horses, you will see that they will bang into it, push it around, and sometimes it gets caught on stuff and then they really bend it up. It's also important in the wintertime that you're checking your protein tubs. And so with a drone, you can come down to 10 feet, shine it right down, or adjust the camera right down inside of that tub and figure out where or what level you have so you know whether or not you need to go get more. The number one reason that I would encourage people to get a drone is right here. And there's a couple items that are categorized down inside of this point, if you will. So the first point under number one that I will address is money. It is a money saver. Think about this for a second. The amount of money that it costs for a gallon of gas, almost $3 right now here in Texas. A while back, it was up to $4, maybe $4.50 a gallon. So the thing is that when you are running your equipment, you are constantly using money to fill the gas tank. And every gallon that you put into your four-wheeler, your UTV, your farm truck, or some people even use tractors, so you have diesel, which is even more expensive, to go check things because of the condition of the ground. As I said, right now, Texas has gone through a wide variety of weather conditions: rain, ice, wind, whatever it may be. The in-between parts, when you can get the vehicle out there, sometimes you get stuck. And it takes up more gas, obviously, to get out there. Whereas with the drone, you don't spend anywhere near that amount of money because all you're doing is charging a battery. Fair point, you're using electricity, but it's severely insignificant compared to the amount of fuel that you're going to burn to go in and out, especially if you have to drop your vehicle into four-wheel drive, or if you get stuck, or whatever it may be. So money is the number one thing. The second thing underneath, again, point number one, is the wear and tear. Wear and tear on vehicles, obviously, over rough conditions, muddy conditions, getting everything gummed up inside of your equipment causes you to have to do more work. When you're doing that, now you're spending the effort of trying to maintain your equipment, which again is more money. And the number one reason, and I'm trying to work around this last and most important point, the number one reason as to why a drone is beneficial is because of time. Time is so valuable. It is talked about all the time. Any kind of management classes, any kind of supervisory classes, any kind of leadership classes that you go to, time is typically the number one reason as to why leaders aren't great leaders. So if you have a means to be able to cut back the time that it takes. Now think about this. If you are in good dry ground, or if it's wet and mucky, whatever it is, the amount of time that it would take to dry or to fly your drone from point A to point B would be much quicker than you getting into the truck, the four-wheeler, the UTV, again, the horse, if we're going old school, whatever it may be. Time is so important that we take every moment that we have and really utilize it the best we can. And when we're on the ranch, as I said in the beginning statements, we are constantly on the move. Now here's one really awesome thing about saving time. If you have a kid, if you have kids that I would say are probably 25 or 30 and below, I bet they would be really awesome at flying the drone. It's really like a first-person game that you play on Xbox or PlayStation or the Switch, whatever console is your console of choice. Kids nowadays really have an awesome ability to be able to utilize this screen. So instead of us saying you're wasting your time, put them on the drone. Let them utilize their skills in ways that maybe you never thought of before. So in closing, take these top 5 reasons that I just gave you and think about it. Drones can be a little bit expensive up front, but once you get comfortable with them and once you really start utilizing for what they can be used for and maximizing the use of them, man, you better watch out, because you truly will be able to save on your time, your money, your resources, energy. There's a lot you can do with it. So, hey, who likes good drone shots, letting our hair down and having fun out there? And most of all, saving time so that you can spend that with your family. Farmers do. Number 4, the 4th reason. I don't remember what the 4th reason is. Let me go check my notes. Number 4 is because I sounded dumb. A little itchy there. Scratchy, scratchy. In the beard. Hopefully I don't have maggots in there again.